What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS, and in today's video, I'm going over the Week 2 Monday Night 2-game slate. Before we do, I'll go into my main line that I had for the Sunday slate. So this is the $25 double up. I recommend this contest to kind of judge week by week. I am unfortunately 0-2 now during this season, and I was on the wrong side of the Joe Burrow injury, so I really love the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I tried to find a way to get T. Higgins, but it was just a little tough. But I was fine with getting Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Didn't love a run back, and I guess it turned out good in that aspect for it. But Burrow did get hurt, so when your quarterback gets hurt, like, it's one thing if a player gets hurt, like any of these guys get hurt. I mean, the way that some of these guys performed on my lineup, it's like they did get hurt. But when your quarterback gets hurt, you are really screwed. So Justin Fields also got hurt. But yeah, Joe Burrow went down right before the half. Jake Browning came in, had a 20-point performance. Right, and if you could buy that with Joe Burrow's, I probably would have cashed. That is a what-if scenario. But I can't control injuries, especially the quarterback. I've had 2 injuries in my lineups the last 2 weeks, George Kittle and Joe Burrow. So yeah, this has sucked to have happen. I did get very, very hopeful towards the Dallas and Giants game. I mean, just before we get into it, Kyron did not get like pretty much any goal line work. They put Blake Corum in there, which is crazy because last year they went with Kyron a lot. George Pickens had a good game, but I mean, he realistically should have had way more. I think he had like 3 or 4 DPI calls on him. Shakir was barely included. James Cook had a crazy good game, so it was good on him. I think Chig was good for me for what I needed, so I'm not mad about that. Butte, same thing, like 8.6. He basically just had the touchdown, and that was it. He really didn't get included much more in that game. And then the Panthers, yeah, the Panthers did what I needed them to do as well. 3 points for $2,300 defense. So it just came down to Kyron, playing Kyron over some of the other running backs on the slate, like Achane, like Cook, all that stuff. Jamar Chase had a smash game. Wasn't upset with that. CMC Chalk wasn't upset. It basically came down to the Burrow injury and then possibly getting off Shakir. But yeah, I move on. So let's get into the reason you're here, which is the 2-game slate. So the key that I have so you guys can see it, if you guys are interested in any of my spreadsheets, my bets and props, any fantasy related questions, all that stuff, it's in our Discord. So if you guys are interested, check that out. So on this one, I like Justin Herbert the most on this. I think it's rightfully so. First price point, he's cheaper than Baker. Geno Smith is the cheapest on it, and he also looks good for this matchup. But yeah, Herbert to me just seems like the better play as far as the upside as well. Like, CJ Stroud has struggled. That offensive line is still not good, and I believe they have another injury on it at that, and they're playing a Tampa Bay defense that, you know, is really, really good of getting to the quarterback, and then having a powerhouse nose tackle in Vita Vea. So, oh, fuck. Sorry about that. So, yeah, going back to it, Justin Herbert seems like the best play. Geno Smith is the next quarterback I want to have. Baker, CJ Stroud, gonna be low on the ownership for him in my 150s tonight. So, but Justin Herbert's probably the quarterback that I want. And then CJ Stroud. So if you want to get leverage on this slate and you're trying to figure out how to get leverage on a 2-game slate, Baker and CJ Stroud should be the 2 lower owned quarterbacks on this slate. So if they pop off, you're going to have that advantage. So even though I'm on Herbert and Geno, and, you know, probably more the field is going to be as well, if you want to find a leverage play, that's how you do it. You go against what everybody else is doing. For instance, yesterday, no one was really playing Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson was like the best. Bryce Young ended up having a really good game as well. So, like, you target where everyone else is fading. So if you want to find a leverage play, it doesn't mean it's always going to work out, but a leverage play, that's how you do it. Running back, Bucky Irving, Ashton Genty, the top 2, obviously. I mean, it's pretty much that's where you're going with in running back. Amari and Hampton, I think, is in a really good spot at 5,800. If I can't afford both Bucky and Ashton Genty in my lineup, then yes, I probably want to pay down, you know, $1,200 or $1,400 for Amari and Hampton. I do think Nick Chubb is interesting on this one just because he's probably going to get a majority of the work for Houston. If their offensive line was better, he would probably look better in this offense. But unfortunately, they have a really bad offensive line, and they're facing a really good defensive line. So I don't really love Nick Chubb, but if you look for a value piece, he's kind of the guy there. Now to the wide receiver. I think, by the way, this slate is really good. For a 2-game slate, the pricing on this is really, really solid. So I like that. Nico Collins against Tampa. Yes, he had a really misused game week 1. But against Tampa Bay, I think he's got a good matchup. We just saw, the likes of Drake London, Casey Washington, those type of guys have a good game. So Nico Collins, I think, is in a really good bounce back spot. If you like Herbert, you're going to like Ladd McConkey in this one. He's got a really good matchup against Vegas. I think Vegas they looked good against New England. So if you want to take that into consideration, go for it. But Justin Herbert's played really, really good football against Vegas. So I want to get Ladd McConkey exposure in that one as well. Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka. I'm not in love with the Tampa Bay Houston game. I do think we're going to get some value out of that game, though, for sure. Honestly, Emeka Egbuka for his price point, for $1,000 cheaper, is probably the easier way to go. But Mike Evans, in a game like this where you have a really good defense in Houston, like that's the one thing you can say good about Houston is their defense, right? They played the Rams really, really tough. Mike Evans being utilized in that, kind of man coverage, the safety valve for Baker Mayfield. So it is really hard, though. Like, if you're paying, you don't have to pay a premium at quarterback, but the running backs, you're going to have to make that decision. So Emeka Egbuka does kind of seem in a better spot. I mean, they're going to be lining up kind of on the same. Sterling Shepard's going to take that slot role. So it's going to be Emeka Egbuka, Mike Evans on that outside facing, Stingley Jr., one of the best corners in the league. So that is a huge concern. Chris Godwin, Christian Kirk, both these guys are ruled out. So that's good that we know that at least now. And then we start going down and we get some value on the Vegas side. Jacoby Myers at 4,900. He does have a tougher matchup against the Chargers, but he's a guy that's going to continue to get targets, especially if Brock Bowers is limited in this game. Jacoby Myers should get some more targets. Keenan Allen in a really good spot as well. He's a good stack option if you want to get two pieces with Justin Herbert. So Keenan Allen at 4,800, he's in a really good spot. And then I'll go down. Trey Tucker. I don't know what happened, but why is Trey Tucker cheaper than Thornton and Beck? Beck did not see the field a lot. Trey Tucker, I think, outsnapped everybody on Vegas for their wide receivers, and Thornton was up there as well. So as much as I like Thornton, now I do like Thornton on this one. I think his height and his speed could be an advantage in this one. But for the price point alone of paying $500 cheaper for Trey Tucker, who's at least going to be on the field, that's just way too cheap. And then Sterling Shepard, he's going to have the better matchup of the three wide receivers for Tampa Bay. It's just the usage is going to go, obviously, more to Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka. But Sterling Shepard was their number 3 guy in that slot role. I think he has the potential to get you 10 fantasy points or DraftKings points on this one. So at 3,100, I do like that. And then going down to tight ends, Brock Bowers, I would love to say he's a lock, but he's 2,800 more than the next tight end. He was limited in practice on the last practice they had. He's banged up. I don't love it. Where to go elsewhere? You go Michael Mayer, who Michael Mayer saw a lot of snaps on that game. He actually got included in the offense. I don't love tight end in this 2-game slate. It's the only thing I don't love. So Michael Mayer's in a good spot. I think Dalton Schultz against Tampa Bay's in a really good spot. And then you could literally flip a coin and just go Tyler Conklin, Will Dissly, and just pick one, honestly, right? Will Dissly scored less than Tyler Conklin, but Will Dissly was in the red zone snap, so he has that potential if they get down in the red zone of seeing that just based off of week 1 snaps. So that is pretty much it for me. So just to put in, I like the Chargers Vegas game. I like that one for a higher scorer one. I think that's where you're going to get a majority of the scoring, but it does not mean that Tampa Bay Houston can't sneak in some good fantasy plays there as well. So hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.